What's going on, guys? Markie wins from the YouTube channel online certification course. Here I got a tutorial in regards to the fragile workplace and how upper management need to adjust their ways. Come check me out, like, subscribe, comment below as to what you would like to get certified in. I could personally send you some links to check out. So let's get into it, but first go ahead and check out my intro. So with all the AI, the automation and so forth that's going on with these companies and so forth, and to make whoever's left in the workforce job a little easier, companies need to start focusing on the emotional intelligence, the empathy, the creativity that technologies cannot replace. So if you made it past the intro this far, now you're wondering, saying, so what is? So the new trend with the hiring process that's going on with these smart organizations and so forth is they're taking talent over experience, over the strength, and also those little crappy ass pieces of paper that you got to conjure the underworld up to have these things accomplished, which is those resumes, right? A lot of great organizations, smart organizations, are throwing that stuff out the window, and they moving towards investing into their own current employees. They hiring talent and so forth, and they starting to reskill, upskill these current people that they have at their businesses, which in the long run saves them a ton of money. So a lot of companies, they do that for the retention and so forth, and by doing so, you get more productivity out of your team. Also, they stay at that current position. So give an example. If somehow mysteriously a new job creation pops up out of thin air in the service department or purchasing department, instead of going out and hiring and spending the time and the effort through the hiring process and onboarding, orientations and so forth, you're going to hear me say that a lot through the tutorial, you can go ahead and upskill, reskill someone in that department, or if it's 3 people in that department, go ahead and divvy up the new job roles and so forth. And also in the long run, throw a couple coins into their pocket. Everyone's happy, right? So moving forward on that, Peter Drucker once said, the only skill that you need in going on into the future is the skill to learn new skills. Eventually everything else will be obsolete, and what you have is a new skill set. And where do you get them from? You could go online and do the courses as such, which I'm gonna have some down below in the description, but also within the company, upper management should be, once again, training these people that have been in these positions for 5-10 years and so forth. There's new ways of doing stuff. There's different processes and procedures and so forth. And upper management should be going out to these conferences and so forth, these powwows, learning new techniques and skills, and bringing them back in to retrain these employees in those new ways. So you have to understand, companies such as Verizon, Chipotle, Ashley Furniture, their whole motto is, train within the company before they go out and start outsourcing for employment and stuff, so forth. So they go ahead and retrain them, switch them around to different positions and so forth, up their pay scales. That simple. So you gotta understand, between they were mentioning, as I mentioned before, is $4,000 to actually sit down, do the whole hiring process with someone, which is going to be interview them and so forth, picking their brains and everything, and let me think about it, call you 3 weeks to a month or so forth, and then get them in, do the onboarding process, the orientation, HR do their thing, and then you bring them out to the floor, and now you have to show them everything you know in your experience. Throw it out the window, because this is how we do it within the company. So it takes about $4,000, and with all that, you might have someone that you brought them through the ropes and everything, and they look around and it's like, it's not my fit, I'm out, right? While you have your own employees already there and you retraining them to different positions, new ideas, processes, and procedures, you already have them set. You retain them because now they be more productive, because now they get an input, they feed them back and forth and so forth. So talent is pretty much the thought of having something within inside you without actually being trained. You just had that certain talent, that knack. And people, when they have that talent, it's more easy for them to be retrained, try new things and so forth. They take heed to it. They absorb it much better. So to have talent over experience and strength, I lean towards that a lot also. So I'm going to give you a few examples on that. So you can say, we hear it many times, right? You don't have the experience, I cannot hire you, you're not experienced enough. And of course, in defense, we will say, how would I get the experience and no one would hire me, right? So you also have people that you could comment below as well, we can't hire HR or someone in marketing if they don't have experience. So sometimes you got to put experience to the backside and look towards their talents or other things that they have on their resume. What other accolades do they have? Are they trainable, right? What other qualities do they have to determine that he or she can fulfill this position, right? So keep that in mind when you're sitting there and you're doing that little proper procedure of interviewing someone. And quick story, the funny thing was, I back in '93 applied to Burger King, McDonald's, and they said the same thing actually. They're like, you don't have experience, And I actually went down to Wendy's, down at the college where I live at. And the funny thing was, they said the same thing. And I'm like, really? All you do is flipping burgers and serving fries. How hard can it be? So the manager actually laughed and everything and literally hired me on the spot. So, shout out to Mike Sneed back in '93. And also within that year, I got up to crew chief pay, which was $9 an hour back in '93 or whatever. Because, I had the talent of absorbing and taking on other positions that they say, hey, Mark, will you be able to fulfill this or fulfill? Hey, no problem. So I had talent. I ain't had the experience of flipping burgers, but I had the talent to learn, and I was up for other positions as well. So talent goes a long way. Also, reskilling your current team, allows you to retain them, which I keep mentioning before. I'm gonna have some tutorials down below, some links in the description as well as in regards to how to retain your employees. So a lot of businesses, you don't want them to have a revolving door. You got the managers that are hard-nosed pressed to the fact that everyone's replaceable. Technically, yes, they are replaceable, but it comes with a cost. And also, by retaining them and, upskilling them and so forth, showing them empathy and, emotional intelligence and so forth, you got to understand your team will be much more happier and a hell of a lot more productive in their work. Moving on to the fact of flexibility. So with the pandemic going on and so forth for over a year, flexibility in the workplace has to be at the all-time high and going forward to the years to come. So you have to understand you have families that have kids, so the child care, elderly care, and so forth. So businesses for those were being shut down. So you got to understand you have to create a much better work-life balance. If not, your employees will be burnt out. You won't have an employee because maybe the mom has to go ahead and quit their job so they could take care of the child or someone elderly in the household. And with that being said, it's 2021. We have laptops. We have Wi-Fi. We got this camera that I'm looking into right about now. They got an IT department at the company they work for. Go ahead and figure it out. Remote work. So you got to understand that a lot of these businesses, companies, and so forth, they got that antiquated idea that you have to be in a workspace, a cubicle, and so forth, so upper management can walk by, check you out, pop in, hey, what you doing, this and that, blah, 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 blah. And to hold meetings, which drove me crazy, where everyone had to go get about 20 people crammed up in the conference room to discuss something for an hour, right? This is the thing of the past. You have to understand they have Microsoft Teams, Zoom, video conferencing. Yes. So I also have links below as well in regards to how to manage a remote team, how to work remotely, the proper way, things you need to be set up with and so forth, and how you work with IT and the cloud-based thingy that's going on right about now. So the flexibility in the workplace where you can work remotely is a beautiful thing. I mean, I have friends that actually literally work from a food court in the mall, plus they shopping and so forth, or you're actually having video conferencing out in the park. It doesn't matter where you're at as long as you're working, right? So a lot of people may think, or management and so forth may say, well, how we know, are they really working? Are they working straight 8 hours? Even if I go into work and sit at my desk, I'm not working for full straight 8 hours. I give you a nice solid 5 hours, 6 hours. Same thing if you're working remotely. So you will see your lack of work will reflect. If you're working remotely, you see a decline. That's how you know they're not working. If they're not working, hey, they're not working. Get rid of them, place them. The takeaway in all this is management need to understand the benefits of upskilling, right? Upskill your current employees before you go ahead and outsource and waste a lot of money in the long run. It keeps your current employees engaged and the retention high. Learn how to change the current times in regards to processes and procedures in the workplace. Have empathy with your team in regards to flexibility towards a work-life balance, and you get much more productivity out of it, right? Many thanks for taking the time to check out this tutorial. I'm starting to do some more in front of the camera things and so forth. Please make sure you like, subscribe to the channel, comment below as to what you would like to get certified in. I can personally send you a link to check out. You can also check me out on Facebook under Markie Williams, and I also have a Facebook page there, online certification courses there. You can go ahead and check out and follow as well. I'm gonna drop some of these thumbnails that's be floating around up in here. You could check those out as well. Many thanks, Markie Williams, and I'm out.